Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk a little bit about a lot of things, mostly Internet of Things. But I'm going to list this video under an XRP video so you all get the notifications. We're going to start with this. Being awake is just surreal. I feel like I'm living in a simulation. Everything is fake. People aren't normal anymore. Once your eyes are open, you'll never go back. Most people feel that way if they are awake. It's like we're living in a movie. We have a new financial system about to roll out as they crash out the current system. We have homeless people throughout the country here in the US. I'm sure the same goes for every other country in the world. But it's happening at such a pace that it's hard not to see it. Ever since COVID happened, it really opened a lot of people's eyes. Before that, the signs were already there. I seen different things taking place, different things leading up to something bigger. But now most people are awake to it. If they're not, they're going along with it. I am not surprised, are you? Appliance makers sad that 50% of customers won't connect smart appliances. Now, it starts in your house. You take a look around and you see how many things are connected to the internet. Your smart TV, they know exactly what you're watching. They keep track of that. They store that data. Some TVs have went above and beyond. People believe that the TV is listening to them. But I don't know if that's true or not. But most people have a smart TV today. On top of that, their appliances, the refrigerator comes with a screen built in now. You connect your washer and dryer. The company knows how many loads of clothes you do a day. It's all leading to something bigger. Like I always tell you, you got to read through the in between the lines. You got to see what's really behind all of this. And it's coming. In the year 2040, the world had fully embraced the concept of the Internet of Things. Every single device, from the smallest wearable to the largest building, was connected to a central network, constantly exchanging data and communicating with each other. I don't think it's going to even take to 2040. They're already starting to go full steam ahead with 15-minute cities. We'll talk more about that as well. But every single device you buy today, it's supposed to make your life easier, but it connects to someone else. Someone else is controlling that data. This was supposed to make life easier, more efficient, but instead it created a dystopia. In this world, carbon credit scores had become the most important measure of a person's worth. Your score determined your access to resources, jobs, and even personal relationships. Now, I feel as we keep connecting more and more devices to the internet, it's a way for them to track your carbon usage. That's going to become a huge thing in the future. Plus your social credit score, things you talk about. Most people are like, well, I'll never go online and say these things, and then I'll be fine. Well, everything around you, if that's connected to the internet, it's connected to someone who's surveilling you. They're always watching, more or less. Back in the 60s and 70s, people were afraid to talk on the phone. They thought the phones were tapped. Today, now they bring those devices right into their house and connect them up. The more energy efficient your lifestyle, the higher your score. This led to a society obsessed with reducing their carbon footprint and conserving energy at all costs. Now, once carbon credits come about, I believe people are going to not want to use as much energy. And because they're going to have to ration it. Think about it. If you use up all your carbon credits and all of a sudden a massive cold front moves through the country, people will freeze to death because all of a sudden they can't turn their heat on because they're not allowed to because they already used up all their carbon for the month. Oh, and the heating system at that point, which it's already starting now, would be connected to the internet as well. Devices such as Alexa and Google Nest are capable of recording at all times. Now, Alexa's probably the biggest one. So many people embraced it. They want to listen to music, they want to listen to podcasts, things like that. They bring it in their house. All of a sudden, they're connecting their lights to it, they're connecting their TV to it. And now it's even inside of cars. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. And people were always worried about Alexa listening, but yet they still keep Alexa going. You can request your own Amazon data here or read the article about it. And you could go here and actually request the data that Alexa collected from you talking to it. I believe I fall into the engineer category in the text pick below. The pick is a little old, but still appreciate it. I work in IT, which is the reason our house has mechanical locks, mechanical windows, routers using OpenWRT, no smart home crap, no Alexa, Google Assistant, no internet connected thermostats. And again, I'm in the tech business. I install security systems. I give people their own passwords. I don't keep that for myself, but I tell them, all the time. Once you connect this to the internet, it can become vulnerable. The newer systems are a little bit harder to bypass. AI is also included in the new systems as well. You could actually remove everything except human bodies from a security camera now. That's how far advanced it has become. And it's advancing more and more all the time. Amazon lobbied on immigration, food safety, telehealth, and electric vehicles. Apple reported quarter 4 lobbying on tax reform, copyright, climate change, and quarter 4 issues for Microsoft, Meta, and Alphabet included cybersecurity, infrastructure, and trade agreements. These are the same people that are running our government because these are the companies that pay so much to get what they want put in place. Everybody hates Bill Gates, but yet they'll have a Google Home, and then they'll have a Microsoft Office on their computer, or Microsoft this or Microsoft that, but yet they hate the guy behind it. Well, if you don't think that Microsoft is collecting data from you, you are absolutely wrong. And I believe all 4 of these companies are closer than we think because they're all partnered together for the same agenda, the agenda that's tied to 2030. Finished writing my first blog. Give it a read. Let me know what you think. So we see here Internet of Things, driving autonomous vehicles. Now, in yesterday's video, I mentioned I'm going to talk about this. Today we have self-driving cars and cars that can park themselves. But one other thing we have in cars is Alexa capabilities as well. And every car comes with a GPS system. So when I said yesterday that I believe vintage cars are really going to rise in value, once people start to realize their car is watching them at all times, people will want to roll back to an older car. At one point, a car was very simple. You had a motor, a transmission, and a rear, and then you had tires and a steering wheel. Pretty much plain and simple. On the weekend, you went out and changed your own oil. Now you lift up the hood of a car and you're like, where do I begin with this? There's sensors for every single thing. The navigation system, this is what I was concerned about in the future. Think about it. When 15-minute cities really roll out, all of a sudden, you put in the coordinates and you're going to leave that 15-minute city, but you're not allowed to based on your social credit score. Now the navigation system communicates with the motor and shuts the motor off. And it's not that far-fetched because I'm going to point out something very big in this video in a second. But that's why I said people, once they realize they're being watched everywhere they go, will want to go back to a simpler time, a time when they could do the things they want, have the freedom to go where they want. 367 million vehicles will connect to the internet in 2027. And that's what they've been pushing for a long time. Today buying a car isn't like buying a car anymore. You're buying a computer. That's why everybody wants the latest, greatest technology, but I believe it comes with a cost. You got to read through all the terms and conditions. See what rights you're signing away. Biden is mandating all new vehicles have a kill switch installed by 2026 to stop drunk drivers. You take notice how they always try to say drunk drivers or maybe a road rage incident where they have to stop the person and arrest that person. Translation: if you aren't getting your jabs or saying something the government doesn't like, your car will be disabled. Welcome to the New World Order. See, I looked at it in a totally different way, and I looked at it in the way that they could keep you contained, keep you from driving your car. And again, this is coming by 2026. And maybe based on your carbon usage, you can't drive today, so you have to stay home. Insurance company is likely to total a Tesla rather than repair it. To everyone that loses their car and pays the rest of the Tesla loan while driving a used gas powered car. So if you want to be here in an electric car, trying desperately to keep warm as your battery dwindles away. And again, we know they don't hold up that well in the cold. And I still believe people want to embrace gas powered vehicles. Once you drive an electric vehicle, it's great. I test drove one a few times. I was on the fence about it. I was thinking Volkswagen at one time. But then, as you think about it a little bit longer, do you really need all that technology around you? IOTA, Internet of Things will explode. Smart cities where everything is connected. Internet of Things tech forecast to be 1.1 trillion by 2026. You take notice how everything is pushing after 2025 right now. That's when I believe they're really going to amp things up. We're seeing the framework get laid out now. Later, this is all going to move in a very fast way. I think they can take it further. So we see here World Economic Forum unveils the 5-minute city utopia, which they claim will be 100% solar and wind powered, occupied by millions. It's almost like a stackable city. And I don't understand why anyone would want to live like this. Think about it. All of a sudden, your social credit score drops. Now you're locked in your house for a period of time. Or they freeze your money for a period of time because there's going to be lockdowns due to climate in the future. The 15-minute city enforced by traffic cameras that send you automatic fines if you travel outside your zone. Starting to realize why all the cameras were suddenly installed everywhere. They're creating open air prisons in prep for 2030. Now, some people are fighting back against this. They're starting to see through all of the bullshit around it. And yet other people just go with it. They're blind to what's going on around them. And these are coming to the US as well. Las Vegas wanted to become a 15-minute city. It's been talked about in the past. New York will probably be one of the first ones, as well as LA. Governments are about to introduce climate change lockdowns disguised as 15-minute cities under the UN Agenda 2030 Directive and World Economic Forum Great Reset Plan. And we know this all comes right out of the playbook from the World Economic Forum. But that's why it's going to be, important to have a car that doesn't have technology in the future attached to it or connected to the internet. Because if you ever want to escape the 15-minute city, you might have that ability in an older car. That's why I said in yesterday's video, I believe they're going to skyrocket at some point. The pilots that flew to the World Economic Forum in Davos were all unvaccinated, and the cars to the meeting were all gas powered. They wouldn't let electric cars or vaccinated pilots take off or take them. Fact. So, why do the pilots have to be unvaccinated if there's nothing wrong with the vaccine? And again, why are they worried about electric cars? Why would they want a gas powered car there instead? These are hypocritical people. You got to keep that in the back of your mind at all times. These people fly around the planet telling you you shouldn't even be driving a car. You should be riding a bicycle or taking public transit. They're also pushing the EV agenda throughout the world right now. And again, at some point, we're going to see people rushing to get back to the old. I feel that's what's going to happen. And most people that don't like anything about the government, don't like the way things are going, definitely should unplug the Alexa because the Alexa is definitely keeping track of you. If you could just go to Amazon and get a printout of what kind of data and conversations that your Alexa has taken from you in the past. But with that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.